Hogwarts Legacy has just got really bad news and sad news, and I've got to be honest, it's taken me by complete surprise as I just didn't see it happening at all. To add to this, the all-new PlayStation 5 update has officially rolled out, fixing some exclusive things which I'll go over, and lastly, the complaints are growing rapidly regarding the common rooms in the game. Tons to get through. If you could drop a like, it helps a ton, but turn that into a dislike if you get to the end and did not enjoy the video. Now, we'll start with the bad/sad news because, well, on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of sadness, it is sitting at a very strong 11. In a recent IGN dev interview, we've got bad news for a DLC. The article says the following: Hogwarts Legacy's developer Avalanche Software has revealed to IGN that the studio has no current plans to release additional content for their Wizarding World RPG. Speaking during IGN FanFest, Hogwarts Legacy's game director Alan Tu explained that the team was so busy preparing the game for its launch last week that it hasn't yet planned on releasing any expansions. Alan Tu's exact words were the following: "We've been really heads down bringing Hogwarts Legacy to life, so at the moment there are no current plans for DLC. Now, of course, the keyword or words here are "at the moment." So that's not to say Avalanche Software won't be supporting the game post-launch, of course, as it has already released a patch for the game that includes several performance improvements and other updates. And it has also already received somewhat of an additional mission thanks to the PlayStation exclusive quest that of course takes place in Hogsmeade. So what now? That's the big question. I think we'll just have to wait and see if Avalanche Software announces any proper extras, but given Alan's comments, it doesn't look likely. That being said though, it is worth noting that the game has actually got off to an exceptional start, netting nearly 500,000 players on Steam even before it officially launched. So that success hopefully might motivate its developer and publisher to actually expand on the world. Now, a fan did sum this up pretty well by saying the following: "In a world and game with so many possibilities and room for expansion, this is kind of a bummer. I don't remember the last time a game hooked me the way Hogwarts Legacy did, and it's not a world I'm ready to let go of. I was really hoping for DLC, as I know many others were as well. While it is what I feel a game to be complete that can actually stand alone as is and can be appreciated for what it has in it, with no DLC, I feel it's a major missed opportunity for them. Hope to see a sequel some years from now then." So this was always my theory, that if the game was not getting a DLC, the chances are pretty high that there is some sort of sequel in place, or at least that's what they're kind of anticipating. But even with that said, would having a sequel really be the strategic way to move forward? Bit of a hot take, but I'm going to say no. And the only reason I say that is because if we are working based off years, then it makes total sense to work based off expansions that we just pay for as we go along, that adds more things into the game, even possible map expansions. Now let's really think about it. The entire world is in place, and if there is a sequel on the current gen systems, nothing is going to really change as far as the story. In terms of visuals, nothing is going to change that much, so you would literally be given the same game, which ultimately could have just had the new content delivered in the form of a DLC. Now, on the flip side, I think it should stay the way it is in terms of just being the framework for the series, meaning when the next gen consoles come out to where they can have, let's say, huge graphical improvements and ultimately unlock doors that were currently locked for them on the current gen systems, then they can just re-release the game in some sort of way. Now that's just my opinion, so I'm keen to know yours in the comments below, but I've got to say, as a consumer, that's what I really feel personally would actually make a lot more sense. But as I say, that's just for me anyway. Now the PlayStation 5 update is out, and we have a bunch of notes which overall are more or less very similar to the Xbox and PC patch notes, but Chandler Wood, who is the community manager at Avalanche, said the following: The new Hogwarts Legacy patch for PlayStation 5 and PC is rolling out now. For PS5 players, this should resolve the Collector's Edition trophy and retroactively unlock it for anyone who has met the requirements. Continue reporting any bugs or issues that you find to bugs.hogwartslegacy.com. Now, my game does actually seem to be running a lot smoother, I've noticed, and another few things I've noticed that I guess are small things but have actually changed are things like doors opening a lot quicker too. But if you have not yet updated the game, go ahead and do so right now. Now, the complaints are continuing to grow rapidly regarding common rooms as a whole, and it's been something that we've heard specifically for the last few days. And well, another fan has took to Reddit and posted the following. The common rooms are absolutely pointless, really, aren't they? Does anyone actually use these other than when you spawn in there after finishing a season? Now, two people have said the following. Firstly, there's nothing really to do there except the token chest. I hope they add new features in future patches or perhaps DLCs. And then a second comment said, after finishing the token chest, I pretty much forgot about the common room and now just went to the room of requirement. So of course the DLC situation has more or less ended that speculation for the time being, but what are your thoughts on the room of requirement? So as I say, this is no doubt going to be a bit of a bittersweet situation for many fans out there right now in terms of the future of this game. Now, of course, as I mentioned, we were told at this moment in time, but is there really enough budget for them to actually make DLC content? Now, as I also mentioned earlier, you have to take into account the success that this game has had. So really, that I just hope anyway as a standalone is enough to motivate the publishers, the devs, and just really anyone who, I guess, backs this game with money that does need an ROI. That should be your clear indicator that if DLCs can be done correctly, it would absolutely just explode the player base for the game, but most importantly, sustain the player base, because I think it's safe to say no one who is playing this game right now really wants to let go of it and just let it collect dust for the most part. And I really do believe that to be a current situation that most people are experiencing. And I mean, come on, there's just so much room for potential that it's that crazy. I was just completely stunned by them saying they had nothing planned whatsoever. Now, the game, what I did find interesting, does actually have a 15-second rule, which totally took me by surprise. So check that video out that you see on screen right now.